I took a job as a test subject. I'm not sure I came back. They told me it was a psychological experiment. That was the only reason I agreed to it. I needed the money and it sounded simple enough. Observe, report, document any changes in perception or cognition. 2 weeks in a controlled environment. A harmless study. The facility was a squat, gray building on the outskirts of town. The kind of place you'd never notice unless you were looking for it. The contract was thick, full of jargon and clauses that I skimmed over before signing. The woman who gave me the papers, Dr. Monroe, I think her name was, had a tight-lipped smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. The process is completely safe, she assured me. You may experience some minor distortions in sensory perception, but that's expected. I didn't ask what she meant. I should have. They took my phone, my watch, anything that could track time. Then they led me to a small, windowless room with sterile white walls, a single bed, a desk, and a mirror bolted to the wall. I knew from past studies that the mirror was one-way glass. Someone was watching me. I told myself it didn't matter. For the first few hours, nothing happened. They gave me food, plain, flavorless, but edible. The lights never dimmed, so I had no real way of knowing when night fell. A voice over an intercom instructed me to document any changes in perception. I wrote, "Nothing yet." I don't know when I fell asleep. The next thing I remember is waking up to the sound of something moving in the room. I sat up, heart hammering, but I was alone. The door was still locked, the mirror reflecting my own wide-eyed face. I took a breath, told myself it was my imagination. Maybe I'd kicked the bed in my sleep. Then I saw it. My reflection hadn't moved. I was sitting upright, breathing heavily, but the me in the mirror was still lying down, eyes shut. I scrambled off the bed, my pulse roaring in my ears. My reflection stayed where it was for a second longer before it jolted upright, as if catching up to me. I backed away until I hit the far wall. My reflection did the same. The intercom crackled. "Please describe any changes in perception." My mouth was dry. My hands were shaking. I forced myself to breathe, to think. "It lagged," I finally said. My reflection. It didn't move when I did. Silence. Then the intercom clicked off. I stared at the mirror, half expecting my reflection to move on its own again. It didn't. It looked normal now. Maybe I imagined it. Maybe it was exhaustion. I turned away, climbed back into bed. The sheets felt cold, almost damp. I closed my eyes and tried to ignore the sensation that I wasn't alone in the room. That was the first night. I should have left then, but I didn't. I didn't sleep that night. How could I? Every movement felt unnatural, my own body betraying me in the dim light of the small room. I tried convincing myself it was fatigue, paranoia, or a trick of the light. But I wasn't stupid. Shadows don't move on their own. At some point, exhaustion won. I woke up to a room bathed in artificial white. The overhead light never turned off, and I had no sense of time. My mouth was dry. The air hummed with a low, constant vibration I hadn't noticed before. I sat up and stared at the floor. My shadow was still there, still mine. But something was off. It was breathing. No, not breathing exactly, but expanding, contracting, shifting in a way that had nothing to do with me. My pulse hammered in my throat. I lifted a hand. It followed, but that half-second lag was worse now. Deliberate. The intercom clicked. "Describe your shadow." My voice came out hoarse. "It's wrong. It's slower than before. It's moving by itself." A pause, then, "Do not be alarmed. This is a normal response." "Normal?" I snapped. "What the hell kind of study is this? What did you do to me?" Silence, then. The door unlocked with a soft click. I stood, my body tense. No one entered, no instructions followed. Just an open door, yawning like a trap. I stepped forward. My shadow didn't move. I ran. The hallway was empty. No scientists, no security, just me and the steady hum of unseen machinery. The overhead lights buzzed, casting long, sterile pools of brightness against the cold floor. I glanced down. My shadow hadn't followed. It still lay in my room, frozen against the floor like a discarded thing. My stomach twisted. That wasn't how shadows worked. A flickering movement at the edge of my vision made me spin. Down the hall, a shadow pooled unnaturally, stretching along the wall in a way that ignored the angles of the light. It wasn't mine. I walked faster, then faster still. Every door I passed looked the same, windowless, unmarked. Was anyone else in here? Had there been other test subjects? A voice crackled over the intercom. "Return to your room." I ignored it. "Return to your room." The air shifted, something behind me. I turned, but nothing was there. My chest tightened. My feet moved on instinct. Faster. I needed to get out.
A door at the end of the hall had a red exit sign above it. My heart leapt. I ran, my breath loud in my ears. But as I reached for the handle, the hallway lights flickered, and my shadow slammed into me. I felt it, cold, solid, like a second skin wrapping around my body. I gasped, stumbling backward. My limbs stiffened, and for one horrible second, I wasn't in control. My arms twitched, moved in ways I hadn't willed. Then it let go. I collapsed to my knees, sucking in air. My shadow, if it was still mine, was back where it belonged, stretched thin beneath me. But something was different. It wasn't lagging anymore. It was leading. The intercom buzzed again, softer this time. "You've progressed to the next phase." I swallowed hard, my fingers curled against the cold floor. I had a feeling I wasn't the one being studied anymore. I sat there, my palms pressing against the icy floor, trying to steady my breath. My shadow was still, but it didn't feel like mine anymore. The intercom crackled again. "You are experiencing a temporary adjustment period. Do not be alarmed." Adjustment? My voice was raw. What the hell is happening to me? Silence. I turned back toward the exit. The door was still there, but now something about it felt off. The edges blurred, like heat waves distorting the air. I reached out, fingers brushing the metal handle. The hallway flickered, not the lights, the space itself. For a split second, I wasn't in the hallway. I was somewhere else. A darker place, where walls pulsed like living things and shadows slithered unnaturally across the floor. Then it was gone. I was back in the hallway, the exit door solid beneath my hand. I stumbled away from it, chest heaving. My shadow rippled beneath me, as if it had seen what I had. "Return to your room." The voice was softer now, almost coaxing. I shook my head. "Number, I'm leaving." The moment I said it, the lights overhead flared, casting my shadow long and sharp against the floor. It twitched, shifted. Then it rose. I scrambled back as my own darkness peeled itself away, standing upright in front of me. It had my shape, my outline, but it wasn't me. The head tilted, mimicking the way I moved, but with an eerie delay. My pulse pounded. The shadow took a step forward. I turned and ran. The hallway stretched longer than it should have, like I was running through a nightmare where the exit never came closer. My breath hitched. My legs ached. I dared a glance over my shoulder. It was following, fast. I reached another door, any door, and yanked it open. I threw myself inside, slamming it behind me. My hands fumbled for a lock, but there was none. The room was dark, the air thick with something stale and wrong. I turned and froze. I wasn't alone. Shapes loomed in the darkness. Shadows, some standing, some crouched, all shifting unnaturally. I backed against the door, my breath coming in short gasps. The intercom crackled once more, but this time the voice had changed. It was layered, as if more than one person or thing was speaking at once. "You were never meant to leave.